Hey guys, this is a recording of our dealer conference call from yesterday, which was Tuesday, November 12th. It's about 45, 50 minutes long. The first 20 minutes, we talk about some of our centralized marketing strategies, some of our direct mail possibilities. We talk about our pay-per-click campaign. But the remainder of the call, we talk about renewals and how important it is to absolutely have a well-defined and successful renewal campaign that's really essentially going to help fund the marketing campaign that we're talking about. So without further ado, here we go.
All right, hey guys, good afternoon. We'll go ahead and get started. I know that I'm watching people jump on as we speak here, and it's right around the top of the hour, a couple minutes after actually. So I want to go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining me today. Another huge group, which is good. Last week's first return conference call of the year was really well attended, and that's a good thing. And right now, we've got a lot of people on the line too. So actually, we've also got a couple of visitors, a couple of people who are looking into the possibility of joining the Be Safe network. And I know Dick, Jeff, or Scott gave them the ability to sign on to the conference call today. For those of you who are not members of the network and are joining us sort of as a guest, I will let you know that most of you have probably been on our webinars in the past, or some of our conference calls or whatever. These tend to be a little bit more relaxed, shall we say. So we're a little bit less official than we are on the other calls. So in fact, even as I say that, there are people typing nasty things to me right now, and they try to get me to crack up and read the comments in the question section and get me to lose track of where I'm going, and usually they can do that, and occasionally it involves some strange things. So for those of you who are guests, this is a little bit different than our typical informational webinar or some of the educational webinars we do too. So bear with us and forgive us if we act behave, right. So last week's call was just sort of a review of where we were and what we were doing and where we were going, and we were able to wrap it up in less than an hour. And I want to do that again today too. I know many of you guys are still busy and out there working your butts off and trying to get wrapped up. So we'll do the conference call, my portion of the conference call, hopefully in 35, 40 minutes, and then we'll do some question and answer. If you have any questions, as usual, type them into the console of the GoToMeeting thing up on your screen. I'm not going to read the last couple, but let's go ahead and get started. I want to talk about three things. Two of them we're going to talk about very quickly. The third we're going to spend a good deal of time on. As we mentioned last week, by the way, I've recorded last week's call, and I posted it on the due diligence site. For those of you who want to look at last week's call or listen to last week's call, go to the due diligence site, and it's on the left-hand side. There's a thing that's called blog articles or something. It's on the blog, but I think it's classified. It's kind of weird. It says blog articles. Click on that, and that's where I posted it so you can listen to it. I'll continue to do that with all of these too. We've got such a big group now. We're trying to develop some systems, and that's what we'll do to make sure that it's available to everybody all the time. I want to talk. Last week we talked about our new initiative to centralize some of our marketing efforts next spring. And because we've reached, hopefully we'll be close to 100 locations by the time next spring gets here, we've got some clout. So what we want to do is try to take advantage of some of that clout. We've got the ability to negotiate some good terms and some good pricing on some of the things that we want to do. So I started talking to people and working on a direct mail campaign and a pay-per-click campaign for all of the locations, and I'm making progress. So I want to talk about direct mail real quick. direct mail is obviously one of the most common or one of the most predictable. It definitely works. Lead sources in the lawn and landscape industry, that's why companies like True Green and Scotts and Spring Green and all those guys have huge direct mail campaigns, because when you're able to get your message in the hands of your demographic, and you've got a good sales system in place, you make sales, and it's pretty predictable too. So what I did was I've spoken to about 4 or 5 different direct mail companies. One of them actually told me to go away. The company that does business, did all my direct mail at Lawn Dog, has told me that they didn't want to do business with us, which was weird, but I'm going to always bring that up. Hey, what's up? Robert Ott, how are you? No problem. We're just getting started. So I've got 3 or 4 different quotes. One of them I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you a presentation that they sent to me. So we talked about this a little bit last week. Instead of just doing a direct mail, postcard with a phone number on it, we want to try to get a little bit interactive, and we're going to use a Pearl campaign with that. I'm going to log out of this for a second and bring up a quick PowerPoint that they sent me. And I'm kind of going too slow already. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. So it's a company called Easy Pearl, and they've given me some pricing and some statistics and some sort of a proposal. So I want to show you how it works. I'm just going right through what they sent me. The purpose of the campaign: acquire new leads, the intended targets, prospects. We must supply the data or the prospects, the addresses, the marketing universe is not included. We're going to send them a direct mail piece. They're estimating 50,000 pieces per location. That could be high, it could be low. You could do 5,000, you could do 500,000, depending on what you're trying to accomplish and how much you budgeted to do so. But they use 50,000 would be a pretty good starting point for sure. So the way this works is that we send a direct mail piece that they design based on what we want to have done. It's got what's called a Pearl, a personalized URL on there. So when you send a direct mail piece to John Smith here, who lives at Main Street, on it is a link that says to johnsmith.bsafelawns.com. So the idea here is that you get their attention with that. So John Smith is like, hey man, how the heck is there a website with my name on it? So it's a personalized URL for them to log on to. They're able to variably put in your contact information. So it's not just Be Safe Lawns in New Hampshire. It would be, Robert Ott Landscaping, with your contact information right here. So the goal is to get this in the hands of a potential customer. They go to that Pearl, that personalized URL. It brings them to a landing page that has all of their information on it as well. They're able to put your logo on there. The lead capture is pre-populated, so all they have to do is hit submit. So all the gentleman's or the lady's name, address, phone number, all of their contact information is already in there. We put on our offer, our value proposition, the messaging. I'll handle all that. Their name is on it. Hi, John Smith. Your contact information. So again, we're trying to capture, we're trying to get a lead out of this. The response rate is increased significantly when you've got the personalized URL on there. As soon as somebody requests an estimate, as soon as somebody hits submit on this, immediately, in real time, you get an email with all of the information of the contact on there, and you're going to want to follow up with them immediately. This is not the olden days when we used to send out direct mail with a tear-off, postage paid, request for estimate that you'd fill out and put in the mail. That's, those, and then maybe 2 weeks later somebody shows up and does an estimate for you. As soon as you get this lead, you're going to want to follow up instantly. So when when this campaign goes off, you want to make sure that you're ready. You want somebody manning the phones all the time. You want somebody returning emails right away. So it also comes with a sort of a dashboard to manage all of this. It downloads all the leads to get them into your own system and works pretty good. Right now, I've got them at a little bit more expensive than I want it to be, at about 43 cents per piece. I don't know why that is like that. I made a mistake here. Whoops. So at about 43 cents per piece, not 40 cents per piece. I'm going to be able to talk them down more with that, guys, especially with a couple of different quotes coming in. I'm going to be able to get them down. Real quick, you know, what's the RO? Yeah, a few cents, I hope, Brian. That's the goal. I'd love to see it around 35 cents. The deal here is this just isn't a simple direct mail campaign. We're not printing postcards and doing the every door direct mail, whereas you have a small postcard landing in every single mailbox in the whole town. The goal would be to choose our list very wisely. You know, people who fit into our demographic. That Pearl campaign, that Pearl feature makes the response way higher. It's going to be way, way higher. So if you send out just a blast of postcards to everybody who lives in the town, you might get a 0.5% return or a request for an estimate. If you send out 50,000 pieces to a really targeted list with this Pearl, and you're able to get, you know, say 1.5% back, that's 750 leads that you should be able to close at 75%. If you're answering the phone immediately, if you're, you know, replying to the emails and lead requests immediately, should close them at 3/4 or at 3/4, 75%. That's 562 sales. So that's a pretty good ROI right there. I mean, that's how the big guys do it. You know, it's implementing lead sources that you know are going to work. I think if you probably tried to do this on your own and did 50,000 pieces, it'd be 75 cents a piece. And I think I can get them down lower. The question is, what's the target delivery time, Keith? It's variable so that I can have it sent when you want it sent. Obviously, in New Jersey, it'd be right around the middle of March. But in Florida, it's going to be in January. In Colorado, it might be a little bit later. So, yeah, it does work like that. It's magical. So the next thing I'm working on is with a pay-per-click company who wants to set it up that they manage it and generate leads for all of us, as opposed to managing it and then, you know, you get click-throughs and charging you based on clicks. And for those of you who've done pay-per-click in the past, it can be a mess. I mean, it's really hard to manage, and you can just, it's like you're pissing away money sometimes if you're not doing it the right way. So this company is going to set up a campaign with do all the keyword research, do all of the landing pages. There'll be a variable landing page for every single applicator, and then push the campaign. And, you know, on the landing page, it'd be lead capture just like on the direct mail Pearl, and they want to sell us leads as opposed to sell us clicks. And they're in the process of working on what that cost per lead would be. And I don't know what would be acceptable. I don't know if anybody has any idea. Yeah, they will handle all of the landing page and everything, Keith. That's what's cool here, is that we don't do any work. We don't do any work at all. They do all the work. We just, in the case of the pay-per-click campaign, they sell us the lead. So when somebody clicks through and requests an estimate, we pay them for it. It's probably going to be close to $50 a lead, maybe. I don't know that for sure yet, though. Does anybody have any concept of how much a lead should cost? I haven't run any numbers on what the cost per sale would be, and I can do that. Yeah, and the question, good question, Keith. Are they only giving it to us? It would be our campaign. They're not generating leads and trying to sell them to all, different lawn care companies. The landing page would be branded Be Safe, branded Hydrogreen, branded whatever you want it to be. Probably mostly Be Safe to cut down on the cost of design and everything else. So no, they're only ours. They're running a Be Safe campaign. They're not running a lawn care lead generation campaign. So you see people screw up pay-per-click really bad all the time, and I was just kind of experimenting earlier with this. Like if you Google lawn care, somebody give me a town, lawn care, Massachusetts, do that one. So the pay-per-click, the people who are paying for it, True Green, Pest End Inc., I don't even know what that is. Fournier Landscaping, Home Advisor is that's Service Magic now. So a lot of them are lead generating services. Here's one I clicked on. This is a bad, like watch this one. This is really terrible pay-per-click management. I just cost this guy probably $5, and he's throwing me to like a home page of a website with nothing. I mean, just a phone number. This doesn't get me. He's not generating anything on this. I mean, he's not generating any. I would think he's probably not generating a lot of leads. The trick is to do it with lead generation in mind. Lawn Care East Hampton. So the same ones are coming up again a little bit, which is terrible. It should be based on zip codes, and again, the company's going to manage all for us. I'm going to click on this True Green because I think this is the way it should be done. True Green's putting a lot of exactly. Okay, I'm glad it came up this way. This is how a landing page should look with a pay-per-click campaign. It's all about lead capture. All about lead capture. So what we want to do here is give a little bit of an offer. We save 10%. We've got a contact, save 10%, and a little bit of information down here. This is a pretty sweet landing page, and the idea is to make lead capture really simple and easy. So the company that I'm working with right now, and I have a call again with them on Friday to formalize something, formalize a quote. They were going to do keyword research for lawn care and all that kind of stuff to figure out how difficult it would be, figure out what the cost per lead would be. I should have something for Friday with that. I'm going to go back and read some of your comments here. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of you guys chiming in about cost. So I'll be interested to see what they want to charge us. My guess is that the lead is probably going to be in the neighborhood. It's not going to be over $50, that's for sure, but I think it's probably going to be between 40 and 50 would be my guess. So those are the things I'm working on, guys, and when we get a little bit closer to them, we'll be able to talk about them in more detail. Part of the direct mail campaign with the company that I like right now, the one that I showed you, we are going to have to buy the data. We're going to have to buy the list. I've got another company working on something where we select the households we want to mail to by using like a map, so you can kind of go in and select certain neighborhoods and stuff. But I think, if you buy a list, it's got to be fresh. It's got to be up to date. Our demographic is going to be homeowners with certain income, with a certain home value. So if we nail that down, we're not just sending it out to every single door. We're going to send it to people who are interested in the types of things that we do. We're going to do all right. So I'm going to move on to our renewal campaign right now. Okay, is there any other questions about those two things? I've already spent too much time on it. Renewals. So the question is, how the heck am I going to pay for some of these marketing initiatives? So we were just talking about a direct mail campaign that if you send out 50,000 pieces and it costs 40 cents a piece, that's $20,000. That's a $20,000 ticket to send out 50,000 mailers. It's a lot of money. depending on the size of your business, if you're running a $10 million business, it's not a lot of money because you should expect to spend that much anyways. But if you're running a small business like most of us are, $20,000 is something, that you have to kind of gasp about a little bit. So the ROI has to be there. And I think with some of the things you're doing, it will be. But the renewal campaign becomes an enormously important part of our campaign moving forward because it generates prepay money that we use to implement lead sources to grow our business. Those lead sources that we're generating as a result of the prepays that we generate at the end of the year, those lead sources generate sales that generate more prepayments. So it's sort of a puzzle. We have to manage our cash flow. We have to manage our expenses. And if we manage that properly, we've got money to mess around with to grow our business more. That's the trick. That's how the big guys do it. They're going to leverage some of their prepayments from the previous year or from early in the year to continue their marketing. When it comes to the renewal, you have to do it. The trick with the renewal campaign is that it's not super complicated. It's not something that costs a lot of money. It's just something you have to commit to actually doing. You have to actually implement it. So I saw this quote. I think somebody put it on Facebook or something. I think it's a Woody Allen quote. I don't know where it's from, but it made me think about the renewal process. 80% of success is just showing up. That other 20% might be about executing it better than the competitor or executing it perfectly, but 80% of it is just friggin' doing it. And I know with a thing like the renewal campaign, it's not complicated, but sometimes we get so wrapped up and so busy and everything else, we forget to do it. So I'm going to read directly from an article that I wrote that I posted and I sent to you today about the renewal. Simply put, the renewal package serves two very distinct purposes. The first one is exactly as it sounds, to get your existing customers to make a written, verbal, or emotional commitment to use your service again next year. This is especially important in a hyper-competitive market where your friendly neighborhood competitors are preparing to descend upon your customers with lowball offers as soon as they possibly can. If you can get your customers to simply agree, either verbally or in writing, that they will stick with you next year, most often they will. So you just want to get a commitment from your existing customers that they will stay with you and be your customer again next year. It's very simple. And when they get contacted by the competition, they're going to say, no, I've already renewed my service with my BeSafe guys, so thanks, but no thanks. Secondly, the renewal package serves to drive prepayments. We all worry about off-season cash flow, and pulling off a successful prepayment campaign can quite honestly create a scenario where November and December are your very best months of the entire year when it comes to cash through the door. Not only does this help keep the lights on and your paychecks flowing, it allows you to realistically budget a marketing campaign that will, and I've got it in capital letters, help you grow your business! I like the capital letters. So the renewal campaign is all about generating, that's right, baby. It's all about generating some cash to pay for the marketing that you're going to do the next year to help you grow your business. It's about leveraging your cash flow to work for you. So how do we implement a good renewal campaign? First of all, we commit to do it. 80% is just showing up. You just got to do it. Just do it. You got to commit to doing it. Don't forget to do it. Don't say, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Do it. Two things you need to do when you've got your renewal campaign working. You need a contest and you need a prepay incentive. So the goal is to make contact with every single one of your customers before the end of the year. You need a vehicle. How are you going to get these renewals into the hands of your customers? One is a leave behind. By habit, I call it a round 6 leave behind. If you haven't left a renewal with your customers at the final application of the year, and probably a lot of you guys have already completed the last application of the year, you've missed that opportunity. But if you haven't done that yet, you always want to leave your renewal package with the final app of the year. People are expecting it. People want it. People want to prepay. They want to get it off their list. You want to send them a mailer at the conclusion of the year. You want to send them an envelope with stuff in it that is your renewal package. People are expecting that. They want to check it off their list. They want to get it off, prepay you, and get it done. Take it care of, save some money. You also then want to create have a phone call them, and then you can use your My Lawn Quote platform to send it out again, and I'll show you how that works. Here's some examples. Hey, how you doing? Hold on, stand by. So here is sample renewal letter, number 1, with my phantom fake. Do you have any examples? Somebody's typing. Why, yes, I do. Here is your renewal letter. Before I even show you the renewal letter, what you want to have, you got to make sure you have a renewal envelope. The renewal envelope should be have your company's name and address on it so that people can mail crap back to you without having to go find an envelope. How many times, I know most people don't mail things anymore, but you want to make all of this as easy as we possibly can for the customer. You want to cover every single base. And a lot of people don't use the mail anymore, but a lot of people do. Older people especially are going to want to mail it back to you. So you want to have envelopes with, we used to do postage paid envelopes, and you could do that too. That's even easier. So you have the artwork and the indicia up here, and an account at the post office where the person doesn't even need to put a stamp on it. Well, that's how far we went to make it easy. So you need that envelope. You also need this envelope that you're going to mail it out to, 2014 renewal information enclosed. So they know your customers are expecting it. And this is the customer that you're mailing it to. You probably don't need this if you're going to do the round 6 leave behind. But this is what a renewal letter looks like. On your letterhead, dear customer, and I just proofread this. I just wrote this morning, so it's not real. It's got a couple of typos in it and whatnot. It's not on the due diligence site yet, but I'll put it up there. Absolutely. I will absolutely put it up there if you promise to use it. Dear customer, all of us here at Lawnmark Plus would like to thank you for your business in 2013. We're incredibly appreciative of the fact that you've entrusted us with the care of your lawn. We take it very seriously. The previous year was a challenge, to say the least, and we hope that we were able to meet your expectations through what was yet another challenging year for the care of turf, and we hope we're able to come through for you. Now that the season has ended, we've begun to look forward to 2014, and we hope we can count on your business again. We're having a renewal contest. If you renew before January 30th, you will be entered to win a TV. One lucky first prize winner will win a 32-inch high-definition flat-screen television. All you have to do is renew your services before the end of the year, and you'll be entered to win. We'll also be giving away an iPad, a full year of free services to second and third place winner. Simply call, email, or send your renewal back, and we'll put you in the contest. You're saying a TV? Oh, man, that's just crazy. You can get a pretty good 32-inch high-definition television for $300. You could give away a snowblower. You could give away whatever you want to give away. We used to give away cruises and trips. You know, if you're not expecting that much money back, make it smaller. Give away a gift certificate, whatever fits you, your business best. Prepay and be entered twice. If you take advantage of a 10% prepaid discount, that will be good until November 30th. You'll be entered into the contest twice, doubling your chances to win. We've got some great things planned for 2014 and hope you'll allow us to care for your lawn again next year. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, we want to hear from you, so don't hesitate to pick up the phone or drop us an email. So what this does is it gives them an offer. It gives them a reason to renew. They don't have to prepay to get into the contest, but if they do prepay, they're entered twice. And people, that's a big deal. People want to, they want to win contests. People like and react to deadlines. So when you set a deadline for something, you absolutely will see an uptick in it. we used to do a 10% prepaid discount until the end of the year, and then we'd lower that to 7% or 5% or whatever it is that you guys want to do, however you run, run your business. So you're going to want to leave the package with the final application of the year. Then when you're done for the year, you're going to want to have a mailing. Now, if any of you guys, and I know some of you do, use an operational software, whether it's Real Green, Service Autopilot, some of the other ones out there, you can press a button and generate your renewal. This is in Real Green called a prepay letter. Actually, Real Green, and Mike was earlier commenting about how Real Green can do all of direct mail and generate leads and all that stuff for you. If you use Real Green, it's wicked easy. You just, you literally press a button, and if you want them to actually do the mailing, they'll do it for you too, and charge you for it, of course. But so leave behind round 6. At the conclusion of the year, do another mailing. Make sure that you've got an envelope here. I think I closed it already. I did. With renewal information involved. In addition, I almost forgot this. In addition to the renewal letter, you got to have an actual renewal in there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do, Keith. I don't know specifically, but this is real common. This is something that is probably built in there somehow. So I created a fake invoice here too. This is what you'd have to print and mail along with the letter, or print and leave behind with round 6. It's really just a bill. Service Autopilot would be my choice, Keith. A couple other, I've been looking at those. I don't want to get off on a tangent here. Other CRMs. If you Google Service Business Scheduling CRM or Service Business CRM, I found like 4 or 5 other ones that aren't necessarily specific to the lawn care industry, but they're service, like multi-transactional, like visits, like pest control, lawn care, mowing, that are really cheap and look pretty good. So that's my take. But I think, given the choice, I would go with Service Autopilot. I've also heard that too, Brian. Brian is saying Service Autopilot screwed up QuickBooks big time. I know they've got glitches. The setup, I think, is a little bit difficult too. But in terms of renewals, this would be a button that you push. So you're going to include this with it. This is 2014 Lawn Care Services, $450. 10% prepaid discount, you owe $405. In this case, there's a tear-off that they would put in that envelope with the amount enclosed with a check, and you're golden. Guys, this generates a ton of dough. The prepay contest combination, you should and could get 40% of your customers to prepay you. You could get 40% of your customers to prepay you, and you should expect, or you should work towards attempting to get every single one of your customers to renew or to give you a yes or a no. And you won't. You won't be able to get them all to commit to anything, because you know how people are sometimes. But you should anticipate trying to get a decision out of at least 50% of your customers with these campaigns. So round 6, leave behind at the conclusion of the year, a mailing, and then once we get towards the winter, December 1st or so, when you're totally done, you start a calling campaign. I'm going to show you how I got it set up in my lawn quote. And you guys all have this, or I don't think all of you use it, but most of you have access to it because of becoming a dealer. Whoop. Keith, I agree with you too. What Real Green and Service Autopilot, it's up between those two. I think I used Real Green forever. It's just crazy expensive. So here we go. So now you're sitting in the office, it's snowed, you're done for the year, you closed the books, you've left the renewal package, you've mailed the renewal package, and you want to just get those final ones so you can do a calling campaign. You're going to call up your You're going to call up your customers and say, hey, we left you some renewal information. We didn't hear back from you. I just want to make sure I can count on you for next year, whatever the script might be. And then you're going to send them a renewal package through your My Lawn Quote. So what you're going to do is go to your customers, and obviously, or hopefully, you will have uploaded all of your customers or your contacts here already. And you're going to search for, you're going to go through your list. I'm going to say, oh, Tom Kelly hasn't renewed. I'm going to bring him up here. There he is. Click on Create Quote for this customer. I've developed a template, a renewal package template, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to email subject is your renewal package, or whatever you want it to be. I'm going to manually enter the totals because I know obviously it's a renewal, it's not a new sale. I'm going to add this, and the cost per treatment is whatever, $50. And my prepaid discount now is 10%. The 6 treatments per. I'm going to hit next. Allow to pick and choose, bypass. I'm just skipping over this stuff here. And I'm going to give them the opportunity to prepay online, prepay by check, or pay per application. So here is my template that I've already set up. It's the same thing that's in the letter, but I got a big graphic of a television there. Prepaid to be entered twice, and when it's the same exact thing. And I'm going to hit, I'm skipping along here. I don't know what's up with this. My computer's freezing up. Sorry, guys. Continue, and yes, I'm sure. I'm going to send it off, and this is what it's going to look like when you get it. Hopefully I get it right away. Bang, it worked. Sweet. So the customer who you've called, I don't think you want to send this off. You could just send it off without telling them you're going to send it. You're going to send it off to them, and this is what it looks like. They're going to open it up, and here we go with, here's the template. It's the renewal letter again. Now again, I'm a customer that I'm expecting my renewal package. It's the same exact thing, and I want to renew. I'm going to select this. The prepay cost has been calculated and everything. And then they can go through the process, and as you know with this, they can prepay right here, they can send you a check, or they can pay per application. Anytime anybody takes any action on this, obviously you'll be notified for it. But this is the third and final way of the year that you're going to generate your prepay renewal packages. So there's a couple questions with this. Do you have to do this for every customer? Yeah, Keith. What you would do, you want to whittle this down as much as you can from the final application of the year, of the season, to the first of the year. And you want to do it in mass as much as you can. So I leave the renewal package with every customer. After I've printed the prepay letter and a copy of my renewal letter, I'm going to leave it with them. And then those who haven't renewed, I'm going to send out a mailer to them. And then for those who haven't renewed from there, I'm going to call them, in most cases probably leave a message, and I'm going to tell them that I'm going to electronically send them a renewal package as well. Okay, so the way, yes, you have to do it individually through My Lawn Quote because it has individual pricing, right? So you can't just press a button and it'll automatically email every single one of your customers. And so, yeah, it would take a little while, but if it's the end of the year, you got to think of this as a process, and that's why I put, you have to do it. And 80% of success is just showing up. You have to commit to actually doing it, and it's not all super easy. You want to try to whittle it down as much as you can. But if you sit down with your renewal list and your program here, and do 100 a day, or depending on how many you cut. If you've got 10,000 customers, it's probably going to be difficult. But if you got 10,000 customers you got 10 guys sitting there with nothing to do in the month of December or into January. And you want to make contact with as many of these as you possibly can. So this gives you a third and final way to generate this prepay revenue. And they can prepay right here online. I mean, I don't know how much you want me to go through this. I don't know if some of you guys use this, some of you don't. It's a pretty slick setup. You all have it. You all have it. It was all part of coming on board. If you didn't get it as coming on board as a dealer, he discounted it half price. So, and I'm pretty sure most of you followed through and have it. So, anyways, that's how I would handle the renewal situation. Any questions? The renewal package and the renewal contest and the opportunity for people to prepay, like I was saying earlier in the call, is what supports your marketing campaign. The prepayments that come through the door in November and December and even January are what are going to be able to support your ability to execute marketing sources that cost money. Because money doesn't just magically show up. You have to generate it, and the renewal program does the trick. I'm willing to help anybody who wants to help in executing this, but you need to plan for it, you need to budget for it, and you need to. 80% of success is just showing up. I'm going to keep using that one. I like it because it's true. This is not tricky. This is not something that takes a lot of skill. It's just you have to do it, and you get a reaction. People will send you their money. People are happy to prepay because it's something that they can check off their list that they don't have to deal with anymore. And if they can save some money in the process, and if they can be entered into that contest too, you guys will. For those of, does anybody on the call actually do a full-fledged renewal campaign like this? Does anybody? See, that's in my opinion, you have to. And Keith, I figured you would do something. The contest, Keith Pate says that he does the renewal, but without a contest. The contest will generate many more responses. Contract renewal, same sort of deal, Chris. Yep. I wouldn't do it in the spring. I'd do it now when you need the money for your marketing, Keith. That's how you leverage it. Get the prepayments through the door to get yourself through the winter. Not to mention also that first part of the suggestion, meaning like sort of the psychological impact of a renewal, you'll save many, many more cancels as a result. Even if your customer just says on the phone, yes, renew me, even if there's not a contract or they haven't prepaid, that commitment to use your service again next year will ward off, the bad guys in most cases. When the sales efforts of your competition begin, they've made a verbal and emotional commitment to you to continue to stay with you. And I get that, Keith, with all the multiple services that you do. And when I talk about things like this, I'm talking about strictly lawn care service. And you can throw in maybe your irrigation opening and irrigation closing. Here's a good question too. Do you renew every service? So say a customer uses your regular program and they use, last year they bought an air flea and tick, they bought an aeration and seeding. There's different ways to think about that. Some companies will renew every single service automatically for the following year, so that when I print that letter or when I send that MLQ thing, it's going to be, 6-step program plus aeration with overseeding plus 3 ant flea and tick controls plus lime. I would usually renew everything that they got the previous year except for the really big ticket items like aero seed or something like that. But you could do it either way. A couple other questions. No, Matt, that's a good idea because the question is, I'll just read it out loud. What's up, Matt? I haven't talked to you in a while. you think you could get a commitment from the dealers to lower the direct mail cost, some sort of dollar amount so you can bring it to the people so they know what they're dealing with. That's my intention. That's absolutely the intention. I'm going to start pressing you for a commitment so I can get a commitment from the company. What did I say? It was 40 cents or 43 cents? I forget. I've got the quote. But I'd really like to see every one of our applicators at least participate on a small scale. Even 5,000 direct mail pieces. It's not going to cost a lot of money, but the return on investment is certainly there. It is absolutely there. 80% is just showing up. So if you give me the green light to put in a direct mail order for you, we can drive the cost down. That cost is already pretty low, Matt, because I let them know what the potential would be. Good point. And if any of you have vendors that you'd like us to take a look at, let me know. Because when you go to a vendor, especially with a direct mail company, certain things for instance, if I say we can do 1 million pieces, which wouldn't be out of the question. 1 million pieces certainly wouldn't be out of the question. You're going to get a heck of a lot better pricing, competitive pricing right off the bat versus the mowing company that wants to do 2,000. The postage is totally negotiable going down. The post office is going to give you way better pricing on large orders like that. Keith brings up a good point. It makes him nervous because he's been burned so many times with direct mail. Trust me, I know the feeling, and I'll refer to April of 2007 when we had 500,000 pieces drop the day a nor'easter hit, and it almost killed us. It totally almost it crippled us because that 500,000 pieces is nothing to shake a stick at. So you have to be real careful with it, absolutely. But yeah, I totally get it. It's just it might not be something that you want to put 500,000 pieces into, Keith, but it definitely works in a bigger marketing plan. Bob, how long before we do the first TV commercial? That's something that we're working on because everybody's asked for it, and we've never pulled it off yet. There will be a video. We're working on that, too. That's another thing. And I don't know if I want to do an inexpensive one that's sort of like one of those flipboard videos, or I'm going to have somebody actually film it, but you can use that, too. That will definitely be ready for the springtime. As I was saying, if you have a vendor that you want us to talk to, let me know, and you can contact them, or I'll contact them. Matt brings up a price for TV ads in New York, and actually, Bob, that's probably part of your market. That's a different story. We can produce the commercial or the video, actually placing them in the market or on the TV station is a different story. I've always been a little bit shied away from that because if you pay to have an ad run on TV somewhere, usually what happens is you get estimates from beyond where you want to actually run them. So it's not always the best way to spend money. Radio is a good one too. If you want to do a radio ad and you're able to run an estimate wherever you get an estimate from, because the radio signal plays, not just in specific zip codes. If you can, do service in the entire coverage area, it works. Right now I'm working on direct mail and pay-per-click, and those are two automatics. You generate a lead, you close the lead, the return on investment is there. It's just generating the revenue to pay for it prior to actually doing it. That's what the prepayment's all about. So, all right, guys, how'd we do? 50 minutes. Not bad. Anything else? Is everybody done, or are you guys still out on the road? Because it was cold up here today, and we got some snow. Yeah, most of you guys are done. Still out, still working, done. Good question, Ben. Still out. How do fall mailers work for generating prepays on lawn apps? A fall direct mail campaign actually does work. And some of the bigger companies will do that. It's to generate a couple of apps. It's too late this year. So if you're going to do a fall campaign, it's something you want to launch in August. Because what you want to do is you want to get at least 2 apps out of the customer. You want to get rounds 5 and 6, and then you leave them the renewal package for next year. So it's a strategy that you get a couple apps out of them, and you get a new customer for the following year. I wouldn't be, I don't think I'd be advertising for any new sales right now. It's just not on people's mind. With the holidays coming up, you're not going to make any new sales, so I wouldn't invest in that. Keith, I don't know specifically problems. I'm trying to think. Is Mike Callahan here? Yo, Mike, are you on? I think Mike had an issue with Service Autopilot getting started. Rick Telesco, who's no longer with us, God rest his soul, had a serious problem with Service Autopilot. The setup was really difficult, and I've heard that from a lot of people. Dick and I had dinner with those guys down in GIE a couple of weeks ago, and they even admit that they've worked real hard over the year to iron out some of those issues to get it going. The question, even with our current customers, I think that's referring back to renewals and prepays. No, you want to get your renewals and prepays out to your current and existing customers. I was trying to explain to Ben that you don't want to try to market for new customers this time of year. You want to get all of your information out to your existing customers. You don't want to market for new customers in November. August and September, yes. November and December, no. We are having trainings. We have one in December. Brian, although I know you're trouble, dude. You get us in trouble. You should come up to training because you're doing this year, dude. Jeremy, when to start marketing for new customers? Yeah, we'll work on that the whole time, but we want to spread out our sources as far as we can. Even the end of January is when you want to start marketing for new customers. And the first couple of sources that you hit is your existing database. So rejects and cancels, people you've done business with in the past, people who you've got in your system. Those are the people you start with January and February. March is when you do the bulk of everything that you're going to do, and you close them like crazy in April. The midget story is coming out. Yeah, I agree, Bob. It definitely should. We're going to do more hands-on training stuff this fall. I think last year we did some of the trainings were 2 days. Some of them were 3 days. The 2-day ones we crammed way too much stuff into. It's hard to get people to come to New Hampshire for 3 days. So we reduced it to 2 days and took out obviously some of the training stuff. Right now we're doing 3 days and we can add it back in. So the question is about mixing, calibration, maintenance, all that kind of stuff. I think so too. It should include it. Guys, hopefully I made an impression that I think the renewal campaign is huge with running a successful service business. It's different with construction. It's different with maintenance. It's different with different parts of landscaping. But with the fertilization program, the renewal campaign is something you absolutely have to do, especially if you're in growth mode and you want to implement some marketing stuff in the following year. You have to do it. So hopefully I made my feelings clear. So if I can help you implement it, if I can help you track it, if I can help you determine whether it's working or not, please let me know. and we'll keep talking about it as we continue to do our calls. But I've been yapping for an hour. If there's not any other questions, we'll wrap up. Guys, thanks. For those of you who haven't finished, good luck, because it's getting cold and it's supposed to snow. For those of you who finished, focus on renewals. And call me if you need help. Thanks, guys. Have a good week. I'll post this at due diligence, probably either tomorrow afternoon or the next day. It takes a long time to render it. So talk to you later. Thanks, guys.